executive session where we discussed possible litigation and personnel. We are now personnel E. Need a motion to accept with regret the irrevocable retirement of Tamara D. Lindley, Supervisor of Food Services from Guthrie School District. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion, we accept.
I have a motion. Do we have a second?
And with regret, happy with regret.
Okay. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Number 2 under personnel, I need a motion to approve Ms. Heather Red and Ms. Carol Hildebrand for placement on the substitute custodian list.
So moved. Second.
Motion is second. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Number 3, I need a motion to approve Ms. Nicole Brzezinski for placement on the substitute teacher list.
So moved. Second.
Motion is second. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Excuse me, I had to go, man. I'm off there chomping away. I apologize for that.
Did you get the attention?
No, I need it. F under business. I need a motion to approve the annual renewal license agreement between the Guthrie School District and the Orbit Software, Inc.
So moved.
$1,705.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Need a motion to approve the transportation agreement between the Guthrie School District and the First Student Bus Company to provide 2 minibus runs at a daily rate of $285.49 per bus student day.
So moved. Second.
Motion and second. Any questions on the motion?
This is a savings?
We're consolidating vans, we're getting rid of vans and putting on minibuses.
So like these are gonna be 2 minibuses, we're gonna get rid of 4 vans or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if the numbers are exactly equating, as 4 vans. There might be.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
we're saving money.
Correct.
Any other questions on the motion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. This time we'll entertain public comment on agenda and non-agenda items.
Hi, I'm Betty Shingle from Donegal Township. I have 3 different items that your residents would like you to consider. And remember, you're voted there to consider what your residents would like. In light of all of these recent layoffs, we've looked at, there are 6 physical education faculty, and none of those were laid off. And I have worked myself personally with 2 different school districts that have allowed student athletics to count as an academic credit towards phys ed. So we had a question, did we look at trimming the fat off of some of that? I mean, could we let someone there go? Just to be fair, I mean, we let a lot of people go, none of the physical education people. And I mean, let's be real, we're sitting here looking at people that some of them share names of some of the people that are here. So that's what it looks like to us. So we would like to know if you would consider looking at that option. If you've never looked at it, that is a way to trim off something. If you would let go of a couple of the phys ed teachers and let that credit be earned through some of their athletic teams. Okay, that was the first thing. The second thing was recently we had discovered that we've known that we're really top heavy on administration. And I mean, I think that we've seen that. We're the only school in the district having both a superintendent and an assistant superintendent, and it just kind of flows down. We, in our psychology department, we have a psychology supervisor, director supervisor, who is one of those people that is actually getting training from Harvard, but we won't go back there. However, she is overseeing 2 school psychologists and a social worker. We've never had to have that in the past. When my children went here, we had Mr. Behe and Miss Dillon, and you know what? It worked just fine. I do know as years went on, we had one psychologist, Sandy Minter, And that worked just fine. And now all of a sudden, we have all these administrative psychologists when, in fact, the intermediate unit offers us those services. So the public would like to have an explanation of that. Why do we have that? The intermediate unit offers to us this psychology and counseling. There is no way you are ever going to convince me that it's cheaper or more economical to pay benefits, retirement, and salary to these extra psychologists. And I know for a fact the majority of the school districts in Washington County and well, even in the state of Pennsylvania get these services from the IU. So do you have any comment? I mean, is anybody going to volunteer an answer? Is there anything you would like to clear up there?
Well, I can clear up and shed some light on that conversation because that has been a recent decision. We have had one school psychologist.
Use your microphone, please, we can.
We've had one school psychologist that was a district employee for several years. I don't know how many. And previously, we contracted from the IU a school psychologist and a social worker. When we were looking at our finances last year, I believe, if not 2 years ago, we costed out what it would cost for us as a district to hire them as our school district employee versus what we were going to be charged if we contracted with the IU. It was cost effective for us to bring them on as our school district employees, so we did. So we did not increase staffing. We merely brought those two contracted employees through the transfer of entity from the intermediate unit to us.
Well, I'm just going to say, in black and white, I do not see how that could possibly be true. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I have the utmost respect for every one of you sitting there. But the fact is, I've worked with the IU. They offer exceptional services. So why wouldn't we take their services and let them pay the salary and let them pay the overhead, their retirement, and their health care? That, to me, is just a spending of money that we could cut the fat on. However, the one thing that you mentioned is very true. They have control of them. They're not your employee. Which brings me to my third topic, and that's control. I want to say, first of all, I'm going to say, Mr. Goop, thank you so much for your confident smile when I was up here in the interviewing process. That you were one of the only ones that gave me eye-to-eye contact, and believing me, having taught oral communications classes, I appreciate that. That was very encouraging. But I'm going to say this, I don't mean to be rude or disrespectful, but this school district absolutely has a bullying problem. And the bullying problem is administrative. We need to look at where we're going. This is ridiculous.
Mr. Shingle, you're starting to throw personal.
This is not, look at we sat here over 150, well actually more than that since it was live streamed, saw a video of you bullying, of you people bullying out a member of your own board. That's not, I mean, everybody saw it. It's happening all over. You just had a lady of 27 years, and you know what? She was very respectful in her resignation. But let's be real. We all can see between the lines. There's a reason we cannot get a foreign language teacher. What happened to our last one? I mean, really, guys, there is just something has got to be done with this bullying of some people. That's all I'm saying. Would you please consider these things? And thank you for your time. I really would like to have an answer at the next meeting, though, what we are going to do about trimming back the fat from some of these areas. As far as the physical ed situation, that's clearly worked at other school districts. As far as using better use of the IU services, and maybe not having to employ a supervisor over 2 school psychologists and a social worker.
She
That's
supervises
just-
the entire special education program.
Well, okay, that's one person. So two psychologists in addition to her, and I'm sorry, that's too many. That's just plain too many. I'm not meaning that we need to get rid of the special ed teachers. We definitely need them. But they have functioned how long without having how many, this supervisor with her Harvard degree in continuing education units, and 2 psychologists and a social worker. That's just too much administration again, and it's the same thing. And actually, it completes the trifecta effect of this bullying. Thank you very much.
I want to ask you. 10 years ago, we hired a lady to take over our specials.
Can't hear you. Use the microphone, please.
10 years ago, hold on, Rich.
Not working.
All right. 10 years ago, we hired a special superintendent. She takes care of the entire special program, not just 2 psychologists, the whole school, everybody that's doing 2 students or whatever. She takes care of all those people, all right? The IU is a great place to go to, but sooner or later, if you're using one person too much, you need to have them in-house. Our program at McGuffey, we spent the money. Does it cost us money? No, it actually makes us money at the end of the year. That's why this board decided to spend over $1 million to start the program, because now we educate other people's kids, plus our own, plus we have our young special kids get to graduate from this school. They don't got to go to the IU. They don't got to go anywhere. Those people deserve to graduate here.
The
That's
IU
why we have-
comes here and does services. You don't have to take people anywhere outside for some of those services.
All you need to do, they can't graduate from here.
Yes, they can.
I've worked with the IU. I've had counselors at my side helping students. That is not true. And see, that's misrepresenting that to the public, because that's not a true statement. And this, I'm sorry, this person, Mrs. Megan Van Fossen, and I don't mean to be rude, that's on your website, her name is out there. But her name is on the website, it's public knowledge, anybody could look it up.
They can look it up, but some people might take offense to that.
She is not inciting violence.
Well,
She is
I'm
not,
sorry.
she is not contributing to hate speech. You cannot curtail her First
You're out of
Amendment.
order.
Okay, I'm done anyway. Pardon me?
I'd like to know, that's the 3rd time that we've heard from somebody.
Well, maybe you're going to hear from her later. Thank you very much for taking the time to listen. I will say, I want to leave something with you. Please search your own hearts. Look and see if any of these things, these are not concerns of mine. They're nothing to me. This is what the residents of your community are saying. Is that what you want said about you? That's all I'm saying. Thank you.
My name is Zoni Jackson. I'm a resident of Buffalo Township. I have a lot to say. I've given a lot of thought and prayer to this. And because of that, I did rewrite my comments. I'm going to be reading from them. I have been a lifelong resident of McGuffey School District. As a student, I was proud to be a Highlander, proud of our heritage, proud of our character, and proud of the educational system of which I was blessed to be a part. As a graduate, I was grateful. Grateful for a school that reinforced the morals and values instilled in my home, and grateful for a quality education that equipped and enabled me to accomplish my goals and dreams. As a one-time employee of this district, I was honored. Honored to be entrusted with the care, guidance, and teaching of the children of our district, and honored to be afforded an opportunity to give back to a school and community that had so enriched my life. As a resident and taxpayer over the last several years, I have been dismayed. Dismayed at the lack of focus on real educational issues, dismayed at the shenanigans that have passed for school business, and dismayed at the lack of leadership from the upper administration and the school board. Most recently, I am appalled. Appalled at the disregard for our heritage, appalled at the lack of positive character traits of those of the home, and appalled at the disintegration of the educational system to the detriment of our students. Therefore, I will no longer remain silent. It is quite obvious that McGuffey School District needs a change in leadership. The upper administration has demonstrated by their speech and actions that they are driven by their own agendas outside of what is best for the district. Additionally, their open disrespect for residents of this district should simply not be tolerated. Also, it has been under their administration that this district has been pushed to the brink of financial ruin and educational demise. It seems only fitting that if we are going to hold the food services director accountable for the lack of being able to budget, bring it to, sorry, a balance of budget, thank you, I do not have that written down. Balance of budget. After decisions were made by this board, which extremely curtailed her ability to do so, then that same standard of measure ought to be used on our administration. Furthermore, one has only to talk with employees of the district to discover the allegations of an openly hostile working environment. The chain of command has been disrupted, and the unprecedented shift of power to the upper administration so great that district employees are left with no valid recourse for their grievances, especially with a majority of school board members who remain willingly blind and deaf to the truth. I suggest that the district release the superintendent and the assistant superintendent from their contracts and allow them to pursue professional accolades outside of McGuffey School District. Now, let's turn our attention to the school board. Have you ever wondered how your local school board should operate? According to Pennsylvania law, a school board is to consist of 9 members who have been elected by the citizens of the district. These members should elect officers of the board, your president, your vice president, and so on. According, again, to Pennsylvania law, the board president should run the meeting, not the administration, nor the solicitor. We demand that our board leaders reestablish their authority over non-members sitting at the table. In fact, why are non-members, employees, seated at the table? Certainly, the current configuration has clouded the judgment of some of our board members and created some interesting bedfellows. Let's put the employees at a side table where they will be available to answer questions when necessary. Perhaps that will make it easier for our school board members to regain their authority. Next, let's discuss the role of the school board. I find it interesting this is one of the topics of conversation during the interviews. According to the Pennsylvania School Board Association's publication, How Pennsylvania Public School Boards Work, the school board is to serve 4 primary functions. Number 1, they are to make decisions concerning operation of the school by representing the values and beliefs of the district's citizens. Number 2, they are to promote public education by integrating the views of the district's citizens. Number 3, they are to be responsible for the school's performance. And number 4, they are to serve as the community's watchdog on how tax money is spent. It is apparent that these functions rest on the board members acting as representatives of the district's citizens. Attending monthly meetings of the school district is eye-opening. Not only is there an attitude of disinterest in public opinion, most of the board members actually exhibit signs of disdain of the citizens themselves, rolling their eyes, shaking their heads, verbal sounds of contempt, and so on. Additionally, the board does not have readily available all documents of agenda items for the citizens' perusal at the meeting. They say these documents will be available after they are approved, or that citizens may request them from the administrative offices after the school board meeting, both of which defeat the concept of the public being allowed to speak on agenda items prior to the board taking action. As is always the case, there are a few of the board members, Tom Lane, Darren Ives, Ed Shingle, Frank Archibald come to mind, who have made or are making the attempt to be real representatives of the citizens who elected them to these positions. These few are treated with absolute derision by their fellow board members and others sitting at the table, to the extent of the intimidation and alleged blackmail of one of the school board members at the last meeting. At this time, I will publicly say Frank Archibald has nothing for which to be ashamed. He made a mistake as a young adult. So what? Is there anyone in this room who doesn't have regrets from their past? He rose above his past, and he has become a positive force and respected member of this community. I will also add that, to my knowledge, nothing from Frank's past prohibits him from serving as a member of the school board. If I were Frank, I would ask for my resignation to be revoked, based on the fact that it was given under duress at the pressure of the unethical, if not illegal, tactics of some of the school officials you see before you. No, the real shame belongs to those who went after Frank, targeting him because he dared to ask questions and speak on behalf of the very people who elected him. This leads us to the arrogant individuals who use district time, resources, and money for this personal attack. To those individuals, I ask, why are you here? If not to represent the interest of the citizens, why are the board members here? Perhaps it has something to do with the majority of the board members having families who either work for the district or benefit from business decisions made by the district. I suggest that it is also time for those school board members to be replaced. To the community, I suggest the crux of the problem is that the district's citizens need to be more involved. Friends, neighbors, fellow residents, hear me when I say that it is only our lack of involvement by which their power, greed, and alleged corruption grow. Attendance at monthly meetings is the primary avenue by which we can hold them accountable. We need to make it our duty to be informed and to be present. The time is long overdue for us to reestablish ownership of our school district. McGuffey School District does not belong to the state. It does not belong to the administration. It does not belong to the school board. McGuffey School District belongs to the residents of the district. Stand up, let your voice be heard, and let us once again be proud to be called Highlanders.
Stand up. This is America.
Frank Archambault, Donald Township. I have more than a few times requested that during the public participation for agenda, non-agenda items, for the school board to respond to inquiries that the public would make. And I want to thank Superintendent Collette and Mr. Shriver for actually answering some questions. And I would hope that that would be the precedent that would continue, that if a question is asked of you, that you answer the questions. Because I sat here for 4 years, and people would come to you with problems and questions, and you'd just say, thank you very much, and send us on our way. So with that, I just wanted to say thank you to Mr. Shriver, Superintendent Collette, for actually answering some questions from Mr. Shingle. And in regards to the statements just made, I'm humbled. I thank you very much. And the ice has been broken regarding the superintendent and the assistant superintendent, that back in January, there was a promise made to redo a confidence evaluation for the superintendent and the assistant superintendent, and that was never accomplished. And I would just wonder, Mr. President, is that forthcoming? Can we have any idea when that would actually happen?
We or the board?
Well, we're the public, of course, and we pay the salaries, so why couldn't we, the public, know?
It'll be soon.
It'll be soon. Okay, thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Georgia Gaudy. I also graduated from McGuffey, and I'm here tonight to show my support for Tammy Lindley. Excuse me?
No.
I'm from South Franklin.
South Franklin.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to come tonight to show my support for Tammy. Just her support for the kids has just been amazing, and it's just very sad to see her go. And I also wanted to bring one thing to attention. My brother and sister are part of Sons and Daughters of Italy, and they called here this year for a scholarship. They called the school administration and offered a scholarship to us, our students, and were declined and said we have no Italians, excuse me, at McGuffey. So I think that really needs to be addressed. I was really ashamed when my brother-in-law and sister came to me and said that they called the school district and offered a scholarship to our kids, and that they were told we have no Italians here, and I'm Italian. So, thank you.
Wow. Is that true? Did that happen? Is that true?
We'll investigate it.
I can approve that.
Okay.
Anything else?
Motion to adjourn?
I have a motion and a second. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? We're adjourned at 8:42.
Get out of here fast.
You saw the big pile.